Miss Jazanti. What a beautiful name. And
Thank
she
you.
is currently battling breast cancer because this is October and this is the month for breast cancer awareness. So how are you doing today?
I am blessed, so blessed, blessed to be alive, blessed to be here, honored to be on this platform with you, sharing my story and just raising awareness. So I'm super blessed.
Absolutely.
How are you?
I am pretty good. And thank you so much for being a guest.
Yeah,
You're such a beautiful person.
thank you.
Okay, so how old were you when you found out that you had breast cancer?
So I actually recently found out when I was 43. I just turned 44 on Sunday. My birthday was this past Sunday.
Happy belated.
Thank you. So I was 43 years old when I found that I had breast cancer. But this is my
Oh,
second bout. My first bout was with colon cancer at 26.
oh wow. Goodness, sorry to hear that. So how did that affect you and your family?
Well, it affects us in many ways, especially, well, we're talking about my breast cancer now, not my
Correct.
first bout. So my breast cancer affected me in ways where I lost my job. I had just recently moved back to Florida, maybe in 2017, to get my life back on track from my first bout with cancer. So I was working, I was, fixing my credit, I had everything going for me, and then now this. So it pretty much put a
Yeah.
stop to like me just basically getting my life back in track. So now it's kind of like back to the struggle, back to the fight, and just back to like the battle.
Right. You're strong.
You have to be.
Definitely. So what was your most significant change did you see in yourself?
Um, I've always been a warrior and I've always been a conqueror. Um, my life story alone, not just cancer, has touched a lot of people. I'm an orphan. I've been in foster care my whole life. So
Oh,
I've always had that fight and that survivor's fight, or flight, I would say. Um, this kind of shook me. This kind of
right.
shook me to the core only because I was much older. I'm not as athletic and as youthful as I was during my first bout or when I was going through other struggles.
Right.
Um, I have a little more health conditions now because of the first time. So there were a lot of things that kind of played that factor where I had more fear than the first time. And it really shook me to the core. Even though I do have that fighter's fight and I'm going to fight this and I'm going to beat this, and I feel like I've already won the battle. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% agree with that. So what was the most different the difficult part of your journey?
Um, the most difficult part was losing my hair, I think. My
Mm,
first bout with cancer, I didn't lose my hair. It fell out, but I didn't lose my hair.
right.
Um, it was adapting to this new view. I didn't know that I could pull it off as well as I do.
Girl, and you pulling it.
So thank you. I actually like it, and I don't like wigs; they irritate me. Um, but it was something that I had to get used to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Did you choose to have breast reconstruction?
So I see the surgeon again on the 19th of this month. But speaking to other survivors, thrivers, and just you know doing the research, I feel that the best option for me to go or the route to go is to do a double mastectomy, take them
Okay.
both out.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what stage were you diagnosed with?
So I'm at stage 2. But the thing is that I have triple negative breast cancer. There's different forms of breast cancer for those that don't know, and triple negative is one of the I want to say kind of one of the bad ones, if you want to say. And
Um,
I say that because it doesn't have any of the hormone estrogen receptors, the HER2 receptors. So everything is negative. They don't know where this breast cancer is coming from, so it makes it harder for us to fight. And then the chance of it recurring is pretty high within the 5-year rate. So, and it's metastatic. So it does spread. It could spread to the brain, it could spread to the liver, it could spread to the bones. So
Oh,
it's a very complicated type of breast cancer.
goodness. So how was the cancer initially detected?
Girl, ooh, that's a story in itself. So
Tell it, honey.
I had been in and out of the hospital for years now because of my first bout. And I went into menopause during the pandemic, which the hospitals were closed, and there was a lot of things that were going on that my body was going through changes, and I didn't have access to doctors at the time because of the pandemic. Um, I did a few mammograms, sonograms. Everything always came out perfectly fine. There were like little lesions, not lesions, but like kind of like cloudy spots that were in question, but nothing to like be worried about, supposedly.
Right.
And then in November last year, they wind up killing my little brother. So when we were
Oh,
up in Orlando at the hospital visiting, the hospital before he passed, I was in the emergency row in the family room, and I was kind of like, when you hug yourself and you rock yourself, I'm crying.
right.
And I felt like this lump on the side of my breast, and I'm like, hold on. My sister's a nurse, so I called her over and I said, I need you to feel this. So she felt it, and she's like, I don't like the way this feels. I think once you get back to Miami, you need to go check with your doctor, your oncologist. But at the time, I didn't have an oncologist. They didn't provide me one because I wasn't diagnosed with cancer. So I went to my PCP. I raised my concern. She put me on antibiotics. Why? I don't know. Did the antibiotics? Nothing. All of a sudden, my nails were falling off. Like little things were just triggering in my body, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
there's something big going on." Kept asking her to do blood work. She denied me blood work. She said my insurance wouldn't cover it, that it wasn't time for my yearly, blood exam, whatever the case may be. So I went over her head. I spoke with my insurance policy. We found an oncologist that was willing to see me without being diagnosed. Had my day with him. I spoke with him, my appointment with him. He said, let's do the biopsy, which I wanted. My
Right.
PCP at the time, who was denying me all these things, wanted me to just go in to have surgery and remove the tumor. Could have been, benign, she said. But my spirit, my gut, I listened to my spirit, which is my Holy Spirit in my gut. It kept
Yes,
telling me,
ma'am.
no, you have to be careful, Jazz. Follow what we're telling you. And my gut was like, just go get an exam, don't cut it. So I was fighting them, fighting them. So finally, we did the biopsy, and it came out that I had cancer. So we scheduled the mammogram. We did another mammogram. No, I'm sorry. The mammogram was first. It came out negative. We did the biopsy, but the biopsy came out positive. So we scheduled the MRI, and then we scheduled the PET scan, and then that's how we found out that it was stage 2, that it was triple negative, and all of that other fun stuff. So right away we had to start chemotherapy, which I was on treatment for 12 cycles, which I would go every single week. I would get Taxol. On the third week, I would do carboplatin with Keytruda, which is also an immunotherapy to help, the whole little concoction that they put together, which was great because the tumor is almost gone. I just recently went and had another MRI and PET scan, but only because I got very sick from the chemo. So we had to stop chemo a month and a half ago.
Wow.
So I've been on pause for chemo right now, getting my health back, back to par because I got very, very sick. Um, got a few infections. My red blood counts were low. I was just fighting infections left and right. And then some of the medicines wind up giving me tendonitis. So about
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I couldn't get out the bed. I couldn't go to the bathroom. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, but I
Goodness.
also believe that it's mental. So you can't let it get to you.
Right.
Because look at
The-
me today. I'm up and I'm talking.
Absolutely. Oh, won't he do it, honey?
Yes, he will.
Yes. Do you have a family history of breast cancer?
Yes, I'm both mother and father side.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I did the whole genetics. I was big. Like I said, I went through colon cancer in my early 20s. I became an entrepreneur and a socialite after that. So I became an advocate using my platform. I did a few events with Ciroc. I would do a Ciroc and Bowl in Chelsea Piers where we would raise awareness. We would raise money for the walks. I would talk about, getting mammograms and screenings. And I was huge on genetic testing. And
Right.
I even did the genetic testing, and it still didn't show that I was going to have breast cancer. So you still never know. Even as
Right.
much as you're on top of it, you still never know. You just got to stay on top of your health.
True.
When your body tells you something, listen.
I agree 110% on that. So, was there any programs offered to you that would help with the process?
That's funny you ask, because when I started the whole process of the breast cancer, like I was explaining, I was going through a headache with my PCP. She was fighting me against everything, and I just didn't understand. Like, she was a woman. I expected for her to be compassionate and
Right.
to understand and to like listen to what I was telling her as a woman, what I was feeling. But in all reality, the entire hospital network system was a fluke. Um, I
Wow.
was I was being seen at Memorial Hospital here in Florida. They have several locations throughout Miami and Broward. I've been to a majority of all of them. I've been to emergency rooms where they didn't even give me IV treatment. They didn't really do the in-depth check that they needed to realize that I had infections. They would just send me home where the infections would get worse, and I was pretty much dying. Um, and I had no help. So the oncologist that I went to was an amazing oncologist, and his office was super, super amazing. However, because they weren't affiliated with the hospital, they didn't offer certain things to me either. So recently, I went into a Look Good, Feel Better program that was announced through Hospital, University of Miami Hospital, and it was open to the public. It wasn't only for their, patients at the So
Right.
that was an amazing opportunity for me to kind of connect with that hospital, connect with the women. Even though I had been to that hospital prior, before when I was working and I had a different insurance. Then when the pandemic hit and I lost my job, I had to go through Obamacare, and that's how I got affiliated with the Memorial Hospital. So when I was complaining about Memorial, I filed a complaint with my insurance company. I filed a grievance complaint because I'm an activist and I don't play that. And
Hey.
I called the board of the hospitals over at Memorial. I filed complaints with them. Nobody did nothing. So I called my insurance again, and they showed me a way to go and move everything over to University of Miami. I got a new primary care doctor, and I was able to, with the help of Oscar Healthcare, shout out to Oscar, they helped me go over to the Hospital, which I just recently started this past week. I got my first free massage. I'm set up to have a massage every week. I'm going this week to go get a free wig. So I'm going to be styled for a
Awesome.
free wig. I got phone calls all throughout the week for art program, music program, support group, mentor groups, like so much support. So
Right.
shout out to the because they have been coming through. They came through for your
That's
girl.
awesome. That's
So if
what's up.
anyone's looking and they're kind of lost and they're confused, tell them that Jazanti, Jasmine Santiago, whatever you want to call me, sent you guys to the because they are phenomenal and they're on top of everything.
That's what's up. As all of them should be, but that's
But it's sad because
yeah,
we have some places that really don't care.
right. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
hmm
Do you have any moments where you didn't want any family or friends around?
I'm a huge believer in support. I had my own nonprofit organization years ago called Cancer Looks Like Me during my first bout. And I started that because, like I said, I'm an orphan and I have a family, but everybody's scattered. It's not tight knit. And I realized how important support was, because if you don't have a support system, what are you fighting for in reality?
Mm,
What are you fighting for? And
that
especially
makes sense.
nowadays and these days, like, this world is in shambles. There's so much just negativity happening.
Hmm.
So if you get down and you get depressed, because you will get down and you will get depressed, and sometimes your mind plays tricks on you, it's like, what am I fighting for? So that's why it's so important to keep a good support network around you.
Agree. I know you said that you was going to chemo, but you stopped. What helped you meet the challenges of any of your treatments when you were going?
Say that again.
What helped you meet your any of the challenges when you were going to chemo, what helped you meet the
Like to
challenges
push
with your
through,
treatment? Mm-hmm.
like in other words, to push through.
Right.
Um, my kids. I have two sons. I have a 26-year-old and I have a 22-year-old. They're both single. They're really good men. They're amazing men.
Mama is
Um,
trying to hook y'all up now. And some of these girls are.
and I want to be a grandma. You know, I wasn't able to raise my children because when they were younger is when I got my first bout with cancer and I had to give them to their dad. And, you know, shout out to their dad and their grandmas because they helped them. They helped me and they helped them. And they were there for them when I couldn't be. So I
Right.
missed out on a lot. And then after battling cancer, I couldn't have any more children. And there's this passion inside of me, like I want to have a grandchild, like I want to be able to have a baby around me and be around an infant in those stages that I missed out. I'm gonna cry.
It's okay.
um, just to have that
Don't do
experience.
it. You're gonna have me crying too. Okay.
To have that experience, you know. So that's my fight because I have to fight for them. I have to fight for my grandbabies that are not here yet because I want to be there. I want to break a cycle. Like I didn't meet my grandma. My kids didn't meet their grandma because they died from cancer. My grandma died from cancer when my mom was 16. My mom died from cancer when I was 16. So for me to be able to even make it to 44, my mom died when she was 43 from cancer. It's like I really have this like this this passion, like I need to survive so I could be a grandma.
I understand that. Because I'm a boy mom too. I have three boys. My oldest is 20, my middle boy, he's 13, and then I have a 3-year old. So, and then my oldest, he recently just made me a grandma. So my grandbaby is
Oh,
a month old. He'll be 2 months. He is so cute.
so you
So
know what
I
that feeling is like,
yes,
you
oh my
know?
God. So
I want to know
yeah,
what
so
that
I
feels
I
like.
pray. I
I
I
want to feel that.
pray that that happens for you. I really, really, really do.
Amen. God told me I'm healed. He said
Oh
that
yeah,
I'm doing this and I'm going through this because I'm going to be a voice. It's doing exactly what we're doing right now. That's why when they came at me with this opportunity, I jumped at it and I ran at it because this is my passion. My passion is
absolutely,
to be a voice to others and for others because there's so many women and so many people that go through so much, whether it be cancer, abuse, neglect, all of these different things that don't have a voice or do have a voice but just don't know how to speak
afraid.
up.
Right, right. And I'm telling you, it. I'm pretty sure you have reached so many, and you're gonna reach so many more
Amen.
because a lot of people they need to hear that. And like you say, there a lot of them are afraid to get on because they don't know how people would think or how, what you know what I'm saying. You can't,
Everybody's
you don't.
consumed and worried about everybody else, and you just
Right,
can't worry about everybody else. You got
right.
to just do what makes you happy and be passionate about what makes you passionate about, you know?
Absolutely,
And that's where
absolutely.
my passion is to be a voice for so many women.
Absolutely. I agree. And I have a friend, um she actually had breast cancer, but she's a survivor. She actually beat it. So, you
Praise
know,
her. God bless
I'm
her.
crossing my fingers for you. So, you got it. You definitely
God told
got
me,
it.
He said, you just gonna do your test, girl, for that testimony, because you're gonna be on that
Absolutely.
stage and you're gonna be talking to so many women. You're gonna open
Absolutely.
doors and opportunity, and you're gonna help these women that feel helpless, that these companies keep turning their doors and closing their doors on. I fight. I stay on the phone for hours if I have to. I speak to supervisors after supervisors after supervisors.
Absolutely.
I don't let nobody tell me no. I
You
done
got to
seen
be
how
like
these
that.
other people
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about, them other people get away
Absolutely.
with shit. So
Uh-huh.
people of our skin color, we need to know what we the right things to say and the right things to do because we
Exactly.
have rights too.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree
Period.
with that. So, what were some of the things your family did for you that made a difference?
Um oof. I want to give a big shout out to my firstborn, my son. He has done so much for me and I get on him so much, and sometimes, you know, I tell him I'm so sorry because you're the only one here. So you get the bottom of the barrel sometimes. You get the end of the stick. Um, but his sacrifice, he misses work sometimes, and that takes money out of his pocket and his bills and his priorities, but he makes sure that I'm okay. Sometimes I get aggravated because he don't do it the way I want him to do it, and I like for him to work smarter and not harder. But sometimes you just gotta let people be who they are,
Right.
But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have him around this time. I'm grateful to have him here with me, and I'm grateful for the sacrifices that he makes for me every single day, and the fact that
Absolutely.
he's by my side and I'm not by myself, because he gives me that fight every day that I talk about. Because if he wasn't here, in reality, there'd be not a lot too many people here, and I don't think I would have the fight that I have
Right.
installed inside of me today.
Right. So, because you have, your kids, you got to fight. So
Yeah,
you got to be here for them. And again, you say you want to be a grandma. Well, honey, I tell them I'm a grandma. I'm not nobody's
exactly.
grandma, so I'm a grandma. So, but absolutely, and sounds like he's a pretty good kid.
Yeah,
So
he's an amazing man. He's
you
so
raised
special.
him right, honey. You raised him
Amen.
right.
Amen. His grandma
Absolutely.
too. Shout out to his grandma. If it wasn't for her, Lord Jesus. But I'm blessed. I'm so blessed.
Yes, absolutely. So were you fearful of the treatments?
Oh yes, girl. I reached out to Dr. Sebi, the Mrs. Dr. Sebi. She's here in Florida. I met her 2 years ago, and we had lunch together. We spoke about so many different things because I thought I was like doing everything right with the black seed oils and the turmeric and this and that. And, she taught me a lot. And then when I found out about my first bout with cancer, I ran to her and I said, I'm not going to do the chemo. I'm just going to let's do the holistic route. But I listened to my body. I prayed about it. I'm a huge follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. I
Yes.
believe in God. I prayed
Yes.
about it, and when I pray in specifics, and I asked God for a sign. I asked if I had to go the holistic route, which I didn't mind doing, but it was expensive, and I lost my job, so it was a little challenging. But then I also said, do I need to do the chemo route because of how aggressive it was?
Mm,
And lo and behold, the Lord showed me what I asked for specifically. So with the fear of going through it, because I heard about the losing the hair and the
right.
complications and the all the things that come with it, of course I was so scared. And then going through this first round and going through everything that I just went through, I have to start it again next week.
No. Oh
So
no.
there is a huge fear still, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
that's another 12 weeks of poison being pumped into my body. But I
Right.
call it God's healing liquid. It's a
Right.
mental thing. I believe it. I really believe if you know how to fight it mentally, you can get through it. It's physical. I'm not going to say that. But it's also mental and spiritual. It's a spiritual war.
Right.
So you got
You
to be
got it.
ready. You got to
You
put on
got
the full armor. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
You
So
got it.
that's
You
what I'm
got it.
doing. I'm putting on the full armor and I'm giving it to God, and I'm just going through this test so I can share my testimony at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. You got it. You
Yes,
got
ma'am.
it, honey. So, what advice would you have for newly diagnosed women?
I would say don't Google, don't join no group chats because it's gonna fuck you up. Excuse my French, but
Oh
I'm
no,
keeping
you're
it
good.
all the way 1,000. It's going to
Absolutely.
fuck you up. Don't do that. Um, Seek the right research. Seek the right support. Um, do your due diligence. If you feel something in your gut, listen to it.
Right.
Um, and just have faith and never give up having faith. And even at the end of the day, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Don't be afraid of death. It's just a transition to a beautiful and a better place. I'm not afraid of death.
Yes.
I don't want to die. I'm not going to
Right.
die now, but I'm
No.
not afraid of it either. I'm not going to allow it to conquer me and take over me. I'm not afraid of death. So I live
Absolutely.
every day to the fullest, and I enjoy life as best as I could, as safe as I can. And I fight every
Absolutely.
day to survive.
Absolutely. You're
I'm
gonna
a
be here a
conqueror.
while.
Yes,
Absolutely. You got to
ma'am.
be here a while. You make sure you keep in contact with me. Make sure you keep me posted on
Yes, ma'am.
everything. Please,
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
please. And I want to thank you so much for being a guest. This was
Thank you.
amazing. You are a beautiful person inside and out. And
Thank
I
you.
want to again thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for
Y'all,
having me, Michelle. I appreciate
absolutely.
you. I'll do
I
this
love
anytime.
it.
Anytime you want to know anything new, you can hit me up. I'm here for it. I'm all about activism. I'm all about support and just, sharing with the world because each one teach one. That's what it's about. It's about paying it forward.
Absolutely.
I have a motto: give to live so that you can live to give.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. Again, thank you so, so, so
Yes.
much, guys. And if any women that wanted to reach out to you that's dealing with breast cancer and just need someone to kind of help them through it, how could they get in contact with you? Or,
I won't put my
any
phone
social,
number out there
not the
because
phone
there's
number,
too many
social media,
weirdos.
your
But I
social
will
media
give you guys my social
platforms.
media handle, and
Absolutely.
once we connect through social media, I'll extend my phone number. I talk to women all the time. I have women that text me. I have WhatsApp, all of those things. Like, I'm here to support you because we all need each other. Again, give to live, to live to give. So you guys can reach me at Instagram. My handle is at Jazanti. So that's at JAZ as in zebra, AN as in Nancy, TI, JAZANTI. And then on Facebook, it's under Jasmine Jazanti Santiago. I don't really do the whole Twitter thing since this Elon person took over. So you can find me on TikTok as well at Jazanti. So my handles are at Jazanti on all handles and platforms. And I'm here to
Oh,
support you guys anytime.
okay, so y'all go follow her and make sure if y'all have any questions, any women that is watching and in battling this, y'all definitely reach out to her. You
Yeah,
can
if you
learn a
need
lot.
any connections, I'm a connected dot over here, so I got you.
All right now, y'all here now. Okay, so again, thank you so much.
Dude.
And thank you guys for watching. It has been a blast. Till next time.
Yes.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October's very own. Bye, guys.